Hi everyone, Leah here from EurekaCrystalBeads.com with another helpful beading video for you. Before I get started, just a quick reminder to go check out the rest of our channel, and if you like what you see, hit the subscribe button and notification bell and you'll always know when we're posting new content. So some of you may recall a bracelet that we recently did. It was a square stitch bracelet that utilizes these really fun fan-shaped cymbal findings. And the neat thing about the bracelet was the color shifting that I showed you how to do. Well, we're gonna do the same technique, but we're gonna do a really fun 4th of July design. And we're gonna use some different cymbal findings. So this is our fun design here. Now this one is almost completed. What I'm gonna do is show you how I began it with my little cymbal finding here. This is a really fun little petite finding that's meant to go with size 8 seed beads. And so I'll start it on there to show you how we get it going. And then I will show you how you finish it once the design is done on the one that I have almost completed. But as you can see, we feature 3 different colors here in TOHO size 8 seed beads. We have a beautiful iridescent blue, we have a silver lined clear, and we have an iridescent red. I thought that was kind of a nice take on the 4th of July colors because it's not just a flat red, white, and blue. We have some nice texture to these, some beautiful finishes, so it adds a little bit more pizzazz, I think, to the bracelet design. We have a TIERRACAST toggle on here, and we just use some little jump rings to attach it to these cymbal findings. And as you can see, these really beautiful, let me give you a nice good close-up, really beautiful cymbal findings. They sit right into your size 8 square stitch. You could do this bracelet with a loom if you are a big loom person. I think square stitch is great. You can do all loom patterns with square stitch, and then you don't have to deal with a bulky loom. It travels a little bit easier if you want to bead on a plane. But the finding, as you can see, it camouflages right in because it's the size of 2 little size 8 seed beads. So you weave it right into your design. So we're going to get started here. I'll put this off to the side. I have the other side here. Give you another look at what that finding looks like. It's really lovely. They're very well made. So I have here just a sample piece of FIRELINE since I'm just showing you how to get it started for now. And I have a little size 11 seed bead that's just going to act as a stopper bead. This will not be woven into the design. This is going to eventually be taken off, which is why it's most helpful to have it be different than the beads you are using in the design. So that way you don't accidentally weave it right into your bracelet. And I'm going to loop back around through it twice. We'll be able to pull it off, but this way it'll keep it from coming off on its own. Just like that. Just looped back around through it twice. Now, our first row here is going to use, oops, as I spill some of my beads, our first row here is just going to use some of the clear silver lined seed beads. And I'm going to pick up one, and I'm going to go through the first part of my cymbal finding, which as you can see is shaped as if it was a size 8 seed bead. And I'm going to bring this all the way down. Just like this. And now we want to get one size 8 seed bead right in between those 2 pieces. So we're going to pick up another one, head through the next loop. Just like that. And we'll pick up one more. This square stitch bracelet is going to be 5 beads across. So for this first row, we're only picking up 3 because that cymbal finding is taking the place of 2 of the beads. Okay. Might be a little bit loosey-goosey at first. That's okay. This will absolutely tighten up. Now, the way the pattern is going to start is I'm going to have silver and blue alternating. So the bead I'm going to pick up next is the one that's going to sit right underneath the one that I'm coming out of. So if I want this to alternate, that means I'm going to pick up a blue bead. And I'm going to loop back around and through the bead that I want it to sit under. It's okay if it gets a little bit loose. We will absolutely be tightening this up. Let me give you a good view here. You can see what we get. So it sits right underneath the bead that we looped back through. Now we have to loop through the bead we just added. And now we're set up to add our next bead. So in this case, we're going to pick up another silver bead. We're going to loop back around through the cymbal finding. Just like that. And once you get past these first 2 rows, it's a lot easier because everything gets nice and tight. And now we're going to head down and go through just the new bead. So we only went through the cymbal finding little loop there, the little fake size 8. Now we're going to go down and then head through the new size 8, heading in the direction towards the next little empty space that needs to be filled up with the next bead. And I like to pinch it between my fingertips, and that way when I pull this tight, it tends to stay nice and tight. So now we're going to pick up another blue, loop back around through the clear that's in between the two little fake size 8s. And again, the bead that you just picked up is going to sit right below the one that we're now going to loop through, and then now we're going to loop through our new bead. And you're just making little circles. And you can see what starts to happen. There we go. So now we have to pick up another clear. We have to loop back around through the second loop of the cymbal finding. Now sometimes what'll happen is your needle will want to pop through the cymbal finding loop as well as the seed bead after it, and rather than fight it, sometimes I'll just pull it through, because it's easier to then just backtrack through the seed bead to get it to where you wanted it to be coming out. So now we go through the new bead, and we're going to stick in the very last bead, which is going to be a blue. We're going to loop back around through the very last clear bead, and then down and then through the bead we just added. And you can see what we've got. Now again, we're going to ignore that little stop bead. We're going to pretend like it's not there. Eventually what would happen is we would pull off that little stop bead and stick a needle on this tail and weave it in. But to further strengthen this little area here, we're going to now take our needle and just go straight through and then straight through that second row that we just added. And that just helps to strengthen up the area that's attached directly to your clasp. Now, the next row, again, we're alternating white and blue for this part of the bracelet. So because we're coming out of a blue bead and we want the next bead to sit right underneath that blue bead, we want to pick the opposite of the blue bead, which in this color scheme is another one of the clears. I'm going to loop back around through the blue. The clear will sit right underneath it, as you can see, and then we go through the clear. Now we pick up a blue, loop back around into just the clear that we want it to sit underneath, pull it through, and then go through the blue one, heading in the direction towards the next little empty spot. Just like that. So you're going to keep going in this same manner, and I'm going to go back to the original to show you a little bit more about the pattern. So as you can see, we have that alternating white and blue pattern, and I think this is lovely because when you see it at an angle, you see this lovely little purple haze on them because of that AB or iris finish. It's really lovely. So you're going to do bunch of rows of that, about a third of the bracelet. So depending on how long your bracelet needs to be for your wrist will determine about how long you want that to be. And then we have just one little area here where we start to speckle in some of our red beads. So for about 5 rows here, I did the same alternating white and blue, but in 5 rows, I took out one of the blues and replaced it with a red. Then I did a couple of rows, or 3 rows here actually, of just the white and red, or the silver lined clear and red. And then I had a section in the middle that is just stripes of red and the white. So I have 6 stripes of the red and I have 5 of the white, or of the silver lined clear. And then at that point, we're just repeating the other side. So we're just duplicating exactly what we did here on the other side. So that's your basic design here, and I think it's a really cute bracelet for July 4th. So now what we're going to do is I'm going to take my needle and we're going to get it threaded back onto here, and I'm going to show you how we finish this off. See you in a minute. Okay, I have my needle threaded back on, and I have this side now cut apart and free for it to be used to attach to the actual bracelet. Now keep in mind that, again, this Cymbal Finding has 2 dummy size 8s on it, and they're going to be woven right into the design. If I can just get a hold of it here. There we go. So they're going to sit right there, right above the 2 clears that we have in the bracelet. Okay, so we're going to start off by getting on the first bead here. Again, just like we were doing, we're looping back around through the one that we want it to sit underneath. And then through the new bead. Now in this case, the next spot is for one of the dummy size 8s, or that's on the Cymbal Finding. So we're going to loop back around through that finding, and I'll give you a close up in a second. You can see right where it's going to go, right there. So we're going to pretend like it's just one of the regular size 8s. We're going to loop back in to the one that we would have anyway. And then loop back through the new size 8, which is the dummy size 8 that's on the Cymbal Finding. And now we're set to pick up the next bead. So we have a clear, I'm going to loop back through the blue. Just make sure not to get caught on any of this. Loop through the new clear. And now we're ready to pick up the next size 8, which is the other dummy size 8. So we're just going to head right through it. Just like this. Let me get a good focus for you. There we go. Loop back around through the one we want it to sit underneath. Then loop back around through the dummy size 8 again. Now we're ready for our final bead, which is to loop back through the one at the end of the previous row. Hook that little guy right on into there. And then we're good. So at this point now we just have to weave out our thread, and that's it. So for me, I like to just tighten up this first row just like we did before, just because it adds a little bit more strength to the part that's going to attach to our clasp. And then we're going to tie some half hitch knots, and this is most easily done right along those stitches at the sides. I like to go through another loop, do another half hitch knot over here. And do a few more of those before I'm comfortable cutting off my thread. So that wraps it up, folks. Thanks for watching. Make sure to visit us on over at EurekaCrystalBeads.com for everything I used in this video, as well as any of your other beading and jewelry needs. Bye.